I'm Finch, and I will be your host tonight on this edition of 60 Minutes. Tonight we are joined by Private John Simpson Kirkpatrick, better well known as Simpson and his donkey. John has accomplished many things that he was not always recognised for, yet he is possibly one of the most well-known Anzacs of our time. Tonight I will be sitting down with John himself, interviewing him on his life before and during the war. Hello, and thank you for joining us today, Mr. Simpson.
Thank you for having me.
Shall we get straight into it? John, first off, tell me where your story begins.
Well, it all started on the 6th of July 1892, where I was born into a large family at South Shield in England. I grew up there going to school, then coming home and delivering milk to other people.
On weekends, I would usually act as a donkey lad along the South Shield shorelines.
Until I reached the age of 17, when I started travelling around a bit more.
So John, how does a young bloke from South Shields end up in Australia? Yeah, well, when I turned 17, I joined the Merchant Marine program, which meant I spent a bit of time travelling around delivering imported and exported goods.
The conditions aboard were that bad that I, along with 14 others, decided to jump ship. Little did I know that this would change my life forever. This is about the time that I washed ashore the Newcastle coastlines and began travelling around, trying my hand at many different jobs, including cane cutting, coal mining, and at one point I was a swagsman.
After this, I travelled along the coast, working here and there. Although I was a fair way away from my family, I made sure that I wrote often and always sent a generous amount of pay back to my mother and sister.
Quite the generous man you are. Yes, I try my hardest.
And I never knew you jumped ship. This clearly isn't something that you want on your records. But was there any reasoning as to why you joined the AIF? To get home. I mean, most of us blokes that joined were led to believe that we would be heading straight to England, so I thought this would be my chance to get back home to my family. Clearly that never happened.
My official enlisting date was the 25th of August 1914. Shortly after this, I was sent to Black Hill Camp up near Perth, where I spent just less than a year training.
When you enlisted in the AIF, what department were you assigned to?
I was assigned to the 3rd Australian Field Ambulance Role, which meant I was entitled to collect all the wounded casualties and take them back down to the first aid tent, where the nurses would take over. To become a part of the stretcher bearers, you usually had to be strong, as you were expected to carry all the wounded casualties over your shoulders.
Did you ever think that this job would be as traumatic as it was? Well, at the time I was young and naive. I had no clue what I was getting myself into. It was only when we landed that all our training and strict orders kicked in. It was finally real. Too real. So John, we know that you were training at Black Hill Camp, but what I'm interested in is how you ended up in Gallipoli. How did you find out you were being sent there?
At first, we did not know. We thought we had been training and getting ready to go to Egypt, until we were told that the Australian soldiers who were meant to be deployed to Gallipoli had been disembarked for training in Egypt. To our surprise, the troop and I would now be among many who landed at the wrong beach on the 25th of April 1915.
Wow, I could just imagine how terrifying and disappointing that would be. Were you well prepared for what would happen when you landed at Gallipoli?
We hadn't really been told what to expect, only that it would be fierce and terrifying, but we were told to remember that this was a fight for our country. Whether we were there by choice or just plain bad luck, none of it would matter when we were to arrive along the shoreline of Gallipoli.
So John, after completing a lot of research, I found that you were never actually awarded with an award, nor were you nominated for one, but yet you are still more famous around the world than most award winners. How did you become such a famous inspiration?
When you say I never won any medals, I'd just like to put it out there that I was never in the war for a medal.
Although many people these days believe that I deserve the Victorian Cross more than others, people that won the Victorian Cross never had books written about them, or bronze statues made just out of commemoration. My job was to help people, and I believe that I succeeded in my role, which is all I need to know.
But to answer your question, it was the courage. I had the courage and bravery to go out in open fire and rescue others at the risk of my own life. Now I know you may be thinking that this is what all the people at war were doing. Everyone was risking their lives for our country, and you were completely correct. But my courage and bravery became a prominent symbol of tenancy for the Australian people. I set an example for others, and within no time others were following in my footsteps.
Did this bravery and heroicness award you with any privileges whilst at war?
From what I can remember, the main difference was that I could operate separately to others, meaning I camped out at the Indian mule camp with my good mate Duffy, not to forget all the recognition I got after war.
What made you think that a donkey would be a great help in your role when at war? I did not plan on using a donkey at war, but when I ran into Duffy during the early hours on the 26th of April, I knew there wouldn't be any harm in testing out his abilities.
So off Duffy went, carrying the wounded casualties down through Shrapnel Valley until we reached the medic tents. He proved to me that my job would be a lot easier with him by my side. So from that day on, Duffy became my biggest companion, sleeping by my side and making my time at war a hell of a lot better.
John, it is believed that you were killed by a Turkish bullet. Is this true? And could you go into a more elaborate explanation of how it happened?
The 19th of May 1955, I was 22 years old and in my prime when I was killed. It was only very early during the day and I was on my way up through Monash Valley with my old mate Duffy to retrieve some overnight wounded casualties when I was hit by the Turkish bullet, 3 weeks into my war time.
Do you know what happened to Duffy after you had passed away? No one knows what happened to my good old mate Duffy, but we do believe that he simply just disappeared into the legend.
But in recent years, he has been awarded with the Purple Cross. This award comes in recognition of the exceptional work that Duffy completed during the war. It is awarded on behalf of all humans in symbol of heroicness from a stubborn donkey.
Around the world today, you are recognised through famous books written for children that basically outline your amazing efforts. People recognise you as Simpson and his donkey, and you have truly made an influence on today's society. How do you feel about all this?
This makes me feel accomplished. To be thought of as an inspiration to people all over the world is amazing. At the time, what I was doing was just brave or possibly even stupid. But now that people look up to me the way they do, makes me feel like I had a real purpose.
Yes, as I can imagine. We are about to run out of time, but before we leave, I'd like to hear your thoughts on whether you think Australia won the war.
No one won. It is simple. In my eyes, no one country won the war. Yes, maybe some countries gained a bit more land than others. And yes, maybe some countries surrendered and others didn't. But unless winning means killing out almost an entire population, or at least mentally or physically injuring them, then yes, everyone would have won. But no, World War I happened because someone wasn't happy about something, so they decided to go off destroying things, and of course, people reacted, all resulting in the loss of millions.
Wow, very powerful words there, John. I'd love to continue with this interview, but we have run out of time.
Thank you for your time tonight. It has been very interesting and fascinating getting to know you and your story. I'm glad we could make it here tonight.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'd love to come again. This concludes another fascinating interview with one of our Anzac legends, John Simpson. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did, and we will be back with more great stories next week. Until then, I'm Finch, and this is 60 Minutes.